Let me just start. Let me see. Okay. Okay, so to the project. So you can see it says import the data set into Power BI. Import the data set into Power BI. This is the final this is the folder. We open the folder. This is the question. It says import the data set into Power BI. So where are the data sets? This guy. You have the product table. You have the revenue table. You have the expense table. You have the accounts table. Now, for this project, we won't be needing this expense table. Yeah. Just accounts, revenue, products. In revenue and products, basically. So let's go back to the question. It says model your data. Create the following calculations. Revenue, where revenue is sum of sales. I've given you even the formulas you have to do. So let me see. This is sales. So sum of sales. Okay. So ignore this expense. You don't need it. You don't even need this, right? Account, but I want you to import it in. Right? Account, you don't need it, just import it in. But the basic one that you need is this guy. You can see it's a whole lot. Import this guy and the product. Now you can see that from the product, the first second is after you've imported these two guys, basically just import these three guys, but you're working with these two guys majorly. And you've done cleaning because you are going to do a bit of cleaning. You can see that for your revenue, you can see that it's starting with this sales report here and the blank column. So you need to remove these first three columns. Your data should start from this column 5. Are you with me, guys? Your data should start from this column 5, and then that's where you import. For product as well, okay, the data is fine. All right. These are the product ID, category, supplier, and unit cost. But you should know that to calculate this sum of sales, for example, sum of sales, revenue, where some revenue is sum of sales. So revenue is sum of sales. You know that to get sum of sales, that is unit price times unit cost. All right, unit price times unit cost, right? And then times quantity, right? That's what will give you sum of sales, right? But luckily, you already have a column called sales amount, which has multiplied this guy together 2 times this, which has multiplied this already. So in that case, instead of multiplying quantity times unit price times, unit cost. Sorry. This is unit cost, all right? Unit price. So this is the price, sum of sales. So you just need to multiply, add all this, sum all this, right? So this will give you what? Selling price. And then this guy here, we sum all these guys here. Let me not confuse myself. The cost of one is unit cost. Unit price because of, okay, so this is going to give you the sum of sales. So this will give you like because you have the product ID as well. So this is going to give you sum of sales. the sum of all these sales amount. But if you want to know the cost price, you do the sum of all these unit costs, right? But you now do unit cost times what? Times the quantity from here. To get the sum of cost price. I don't know, maybe what I'm saying is correct. Yes. Now, how do you calculate sum of sales? That is selling price. Selling price, you have the cost for each, and this is the quantity. You bought two bread. One bread is 15 naira, right? So and you sold it for 17 naira. That selling price is this 70 this 9 here. And then how many did you sell? 2. 2 times 9, that gives you sum of sales. But to get that measure now, you have to sum all these guys here. You can either sum up these guys here, or you multiply the quantity items and the unit price. Now, the next thing is for you to calculate total cost, or total cost of goods sold. To get the total cost of goods sold, you need this guy, and because this is the cost for each, and quantity from this guy here to get the quantity that you bought, or that the cost of the number of quantities. So you need to do that, but I don't think your project even requires that. Okay, it requires that. So it says revenue is total sum of sales. So meaning you have to sum all these ones. You create a DAX that sums this. The next thing is gross margin. That is, gross margin is revenue minus total cost. You can see where cost is what? Quantity item times unit cost. So you can see unit cost times quantity item. That gives you what? Total cost. And then when you subtract what you calculated in A from this total cost, that gives you what? Gross margin. C says calculate percentage gross margin. But don't forget that you cannot do all these calculations not until you've cleaned your data. That is extraction, import it in, transformation, where you clean your data, modeling, which is where you now create a connection between product table, revenue, and your date table, which you are going to create on your own in Power BI. Create a model, a relationship between all those ones, and you create a relationship, right? The relationship between revenue and product table will be what? Product ID. Product ID. This product ID here. And then from revenue, there is also product ID. That will form your what? Relationship. And then the relationship between your revenue and date table will be what? The order date. Right? The order date. I've taught you how to use user relationship. In case there's a need to switch relationship, right? You can also switch with this due date. But primarily just create a relationship between sorry, 1 minute. Just create a relationship between order date and your date table. So having done that, you've modeled. Ensure your model. So it is after you've done that you can now call, because quantity item is in one table, unit cost is in another table. It is until you've done your modeling that you can now call unit cost from here, and then you can call quantity items from here using related, which I told us last week, right? Using related. Related is another data solution that you use to connect them. If you watch the video I sent last week, related is part of what we treated last week and even in the last class. So when you've done that, you can now start building your. So let's go back to the question. Create a nice visual showing the following: total revenue using a card and an area chart of revenue by month. So you are going to create a total revenue as a card, gross margin as a card, gross percentage as a card, revenue gross margin as a card. Sorry. So these three, I think these three as a card, then an area chart showing revenue by month, area chart showing gross margin by month, area chart of gross margin by month as well, percentage gross margin by supplier using matrix. So if you go to your Power BI, you see different visuals, right? This is matrix, this is table, this is area chart, all the charts are there. You follow through the video. Then which other one now? Team, revenue by sales team and category using horizontal bar chart. Format your visuals nicely, save your visual in PDF and PBIS file. So you save it in PBIS, and this PDF is now what you now send to me, right? So that's what you are need. But I need you to be creative. Don't just give me what this. Look at some other things or other sense you can draw out of this data and represent it in your vision, right? But if you've gone through my last video, you see how I planned out all this. I need to do, if you've gone through this video, you see how I planned this so that it aligns. Because the first thing that will attract end users is how nice your dashboard is. If it is not nice, there will be a problem. So ensure that is taken care of. And with that, I can say, so our project is to be submitted before the end of this SQL class. So ensure you do it well, and it will be graded, right? Graded, and at least the certifications to be considered. Any question?
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is from Faraday.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hey, I just want to ask a question. You talked about the background. I don't know if you can use CorelDRAW to format the background and
Thank you so
upload
much.
it.
So you can also use CorelDRAW. Just save your CorelDRAW in SVG, that background that you did in CorelDRAW. Save it in SVG and then import it.
Okay, or PNG, right?
Okay, you will.
Okay.
So Mike said, can we upload the sales table like that? I don't understand. So instead of downloading, you mean? Hello?
Yes, I can. I said the way that sales table is, I want to clean it first before we upload it. Before we upload to Power Query.
This one? So
No,
you can't.
the sales.
This is it now.
The revenue. No, the revenue.
Yes, I'm on the
yes.
Yeah. So you
Yes,
have to
this
clean
one,
it. But you can't. You won't clean it in Excel. You have to clean it in Power Query.
Okay, I have to take it Power Query. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Don't worry, sir.
Then again, I need to show something. So you can see this. There is Google Sheets here. Remember that this is Google Sheets, right? You can also connect this guy instead of us first of all downloading. Coming to this, instead of first of all downloading to your desktop, right? Instead of downloading first to your desktop and now connecting using Excel, you can also connect directly to this guy. All you need is, you can see, let me open it first. This is the part. Control A, Control C. Let me just show you something. So Google Sheets. So you can see Google connector. Okay, still under development. Okay, so you can see this is the Sheets URL. So let's see. You aren't signing. So let me sign into my you can see now. So you have your Gmail. So just sign in through your Gmail. Right. Continue. I'm signed in now. So you can see sign in complete. I can go back to here. You are currently signing. Connect. Okay, so currently it's under development, right? It's under development. But very soon you should be able to know there are different products, Google Sheets and Google and Microsoft. But I believe later on this operation is not supported for now. So we just download in Excel and then I was thinking this sort that. So instead of just copy this, or let me use web, right? Just want to save the, so let me say get data from web. This, so it's connecting. Let's see this way. Just open. So that instead of us downloading, and just connect directly to this. It's taking too much time. Wow, so you can see what I did just to come to, I opened from my folder, just open this, and then immediately you open, copy this URL here and proceed. Because it's like a URL too. That's how I'm just saying URL should go. And then to load that Excel and then take it to PowerPoint. So instead of you downloading first Excel and then connecting through Excel, you can also do this, which is very even better, right? Because Google Sheets, different people can use Google Sheets at the same time. I can type in the data. Instantly, it's auto saving in Google Sheet. Instantly, it's speaking directly. I don't need to always come to, instead of, it's better than Excel in the sense that Excel, when you make any changes to your file, you have to say Control S again to save. But Google Sheet, when you enter any data, just close it. It's auto save. Come to Power BI, refresh. There are some companies that are connected for, they just populate on the daily on Google Sheets. Instantly, Power BI is speaking directly because you can see that what we entered was a URL. You get it? You can see now. So what you entered, so let's see which one is. Let's see. So this is the table. This is looking like a table with that. No. It's not picking the right table. So just connect using your, I think they need to, maybe Microsoft is beefing Google or Google is beefing Microsoft. So that's that about that, right? Are we good? So I should be expecting project done. Any other question? Because well, let me debug this guy. Let's just debug what is happening.
Boss, sorry, when are we submitting this project?
Before the end of SQL, that's 2 weeks time.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
So let me troubleshoot this one that is okay. So let me do something. Okay, column customer ID in the table customer contain blank values and this is not allowed for. Okay. For columns on one side that use in primary key. So okay. So I think that's where the error is coming from. So we must learn to also customer. So let's see. It's saying contain blank. So this is where the issue is coming from. That's where the issue is coming from. I think because of the new data we added. So let's uncheck that. See. Okay. So meaning we remove that guy. Let's see. Close and apply. So you can see now that it's loading file. So that's just the error. So you must also learn to debug, right? So just read through the error message because why that is very important is most of what you are going to be doing is going to be more of debugging. That okay, for example, now when I join my current comp, a guy that left, a lot of unclean code. And I say unclean code, a lot of errors I have to now be, a report. For example, look at this Power BI now. Let's say I'm not the one that built it abi, and the person has done a lot of transformation, maybe do a calculated table, do a lot of rough joins and all that, and it's the error, the table is now showing error. How do you debug it? So you have to start now. All your processes, you know that Power BI is 2, 3, or 7 processes abi. Okay, the first thing is I need to extract. Okay, is the extraction not giving error? That was what I checked. I discovered that the extraction is not giving us error. I refresh from there and it's refreshing. Okay, let me check is any of this line, any of these steps breaking? None is breaking. Okay, you can see I disabled this. I'm thinking this guy, it was a former table. I disabled it and I again it's showing error. The next thing is okay. Let me read the error message. So, so let me read the error message, and I read the error message. I said, okay, this is where the error is coming from. I'm fix it. So you must ensure. I want to add this. Ensure you know how to debug. But debugging is not hard. It's just based on. It's not that it's not hard, but it's just based on your level of experience. Get how well you've really done a lot of things. So this is it. So I can now start with SQL now. Let me just add shadow to these guys. I use myself. Okay. So this one now we have to change the colors. So let me change the color axis, y axis to white, x axis also to white. Nice. Come back to use values here as well to white. No, let's make it something like yellow. What can come out here now? Okay, then can make x axis white. I don't know that. So you can see that the report is fine now. It's looking nice. Save this. It's looking nice. You can see if to say you can see myself, you can see that background I brought in. You can see that something like that gloss thing, like contour and all that is making it too. So this looks like this fine. And this one that is looking at this, but we can also change our title. So that title is now, so we can remove background for that guy. Format box. Let's come to text. Let's look at this title. I'll remove background for that title because it's not looking too. Is there any border here? If there is border, let's just remove it. If there is no border, sure. So I think it's fine. So this is looking presentable. So that's that and about that. So we can use the we need to have to let me save this and close. So let me come back to a powerful SQL. So under SQL, okay, we still have like 7 minutes. Let me just run us through what will be start. So I don't so by next week now, right? Sorry. In the next video I'm doing now, I assume so I'm going to be sending a video this week as well. So this video will contain what we need to know. Then by Saturday, I expect that you have all practiced the video I'm sending on Tuesday or Wednesday, right? And so meaning before Wednesday, you should have installed your SQL server, this SQL SSMS. If you've not done that, you should have what? Installed SSMS. You should have installed SQL server. You should have installed SQL server, Microsoft SQL server. Should be showing this. And then of course you should have also installed you should have also downloaded what I sent to WhatsApp, AdventureWorks LT 2019. These are the things we need before Wednesday, so that by Wednesday when I'm sending that video, you have all these things, and then you can practice with that video. And on Saturday, I will be giving you short task, right? Short task. Do this, do this, do this, do this. You will be sharing your screen, so ensure you charge your system. So I want us charge your system. You'll be doing some tasks I will be giving you, and then you can move at the faster pace. Is that clear? So for this class, we'll be covering these guys: SQL commands, constraints, operators, functions, joins, subqueries, views, position and functions, cursors, and intruders. And you can see from here that SQL is an abbreviation for what? SQL query language. Is a language to request data, this. I wouldn't want to go into this. I will talk about this in the video. What I really want to go through is, let me just explain this interface to us, right? Now, this interface, you can see when you come to file, you see connect object explorer, disconnect object explorer. This just means you want to, when you download SQL server, you want to connect your SQL server, you click connect. So I want to connect. Now you can see now. But under server type, you can see we are on database engine. If you are connecting it to analysis service, you can do that. Reporting service, integration service, Azure SQL. But for this class, we are just on database. So we are just using database, right? So, and I will pick and connect. So if I say connect now, because I connected already, it's still showing this. If I want to disconnect, I can either do the file, disconnect, or just come to this and to disconnect. I want to connect again, and then I'll connect. Then here, when you have done a lot of things, you see a recent project and solutions. You can create a new project. You can open maybe an SQL file, right? From edit, you can find and replace. For example, let's say I have a query now. New query. These are tables in my, I will explain that. Okay, I have just 10 minutes left. New query, these are tables. Don't worry, I will explain all this. This is one of the table we have. This is a table. So let's say Control F. Let's say in this query here, your query can be so long. This is not long, right? It can be so long that you might want to look for something. So let's say I want to look for weight now. If I say weight, you can see it has highlighted weight for me. Whatever weight is, right? I can find it and then replace it. Find, or where is the place of? So edit, find and replace. So quick replace. Yeah, here you can see now quick replace. I can say replace weight with WG, for example. I can see that it has replaced it. So that's what you can do. That edit, you can duplicate a query, then view. So error list, object explorer is just still talking about this guy. This guy is your view. So if you don't want to view it, let's say it's not here again, and you want to bring it again, you can say object explorer and to bring it back here. So let's say you basically delete it. So you see every, so you do this as well. Then projects. This is where you see your project show all and all tools. Okay, so aside from SSMS, right, you can also connect to, aside from SSMS, you can also connect to your SQL Server using what? Azure Data Studio. That's a story for another day. So now, you know, what I did here was to import a database, to restore a database. You can also manually import. You can also manually import and export data. So I can export an Excel file from here as well. I can come here and say, okay, to this database, I can come to tasks and say import flat file. I can import flat file and we import any, we'll get there, right? So window is just show window, nothing much, and then if you need help, right? We have 7 movies left. So the next thing I want to explain is all these guys here. Now, a database has many tables. Database comprises of how many what? Many tables. Database has tables, views. So if I click on this database now, you can see there are subcategories. There are system database. So databases will show all the databases that you have under in your company. So I can have a database that is connecting to, maybe I have 3 apps, right? I can have 3 databases for different apps. Let's say sales, I like a bank now. I have a customer, you know, there is that, like for example, GT app. I have a customer base that is holding all these transactions. I have another database that is holding maybe customer service and all that. So all those databases will be listed there. This is system database and database snapshot. These two are by default in every of your database. They are system databases, that is database by default on your system. Then this one is the one we brought in here. So under each database, you can see you have a database diagram. You have these guys too. This first 4, they are statutory. They are always there. You can see from your database, you have tables, you have views, you have synonyms, you have programmability, broker, storage, security. So on that database diagram, is just talking about if you want to draw a database diagram, just like your model in Power BI, that thought tab, this is what you do here. Tables, all the tables in your database. You have customer table, you have, just like in our Power BI now, the 3 tables we brought in. Customer table, I think we brought in part table and sales, and not every of those tables will be here. These are all the tables in this database. If you click on each table, you see the columns. Okay, these are the columns in this table. You see the keys, primary keys, constraints, triggers, indexes, and all that. So don't bother yourself when we start the class. Sorry. So you have views. Views are temporary, like for example now, views, let me say, views is like calculated table. Yes, calculated table. Those are views. You know, in Power BI, you do calculated tables that forms another table. So if I want to form another table from a table here, I can create a view so that I can use the store. So you get to know that as well. External resources, nothing really much here. Then synonyms. Synonyms, if you notice in Power BI as well, I've closed Power BI. Let's say, for example, you call a name, you call a table customer. You can give it a synonym that if someone comes there and does not know that customer is the name of the table and wrote just cost, CUST, take that person to the customer table. That's just what synonyms is. Then under programmability, this is where you create SQL functions. Store procedure. Store procedure is just to help you. It's just like I'm trying to give you something related to what I'm saying. So store procedure is like you do something on a daily. Store procedure is like VBA. Yes. Store procedure is like what? VBA in Excel. You know what the VBA does? It helps to automate what you do on a daily. So instead of doing that thing severally, you can use a VBA to automate it in Excel. That's the same way store procedure works. So instead of executing the same query, let's say every day you are always executing some queries. So instead of doing that, you can just create a source of video, run it on a daily, and then it does for you. Functions are just the same way you create functions in Python or programming. Talk about triggers is just like alert. For example, in Power BI service, if someone tampered with the data, the CEO or the person that has all other access will see a trigger. Bam, something is wrong. The same thing here. If something is wrong with your database, triggers will help you. These are assemblies. These are just then this guy sequence. Sequence is how do I explain sequence now? It's just for you to create an ID, like you create index column in Power Query. Remember, you can go to add column and say index column. That's what sequence does for you. Service broker can create some queues. This is just for you to send mails. You can also send mails from SQL. Storage, so you can partition, do also. So security as well. So here now you will see all the people that have access. So everybody that has access to this database, you see them here on that security. Everybody that has role, the role they have, these are the roles here. I have 2 minutes. Anybody that has, okay, I can write, I can read. Some people just write, have read access. Some people are, okay, this is schema. So some people have writer access, some people have reader access, some can do all. So these are just rows. And then schema. Schema is, for example, it's just like your measure table. Remember in Power BI, I create measure tables. What is the measure table used for? To house all my measures so that I will know them as well. So I can create a schema. Let's say I'm creating a project that has different tables. Everything is all about customer. I have their address table, the demographic table, their age status table. All those tables, they are still under customer. So I can create a schema called customer. So that schema customer will now house all those tables. So if I want to refer to any table, I can just say, give me all the schema, all the tables in schema customer to give me all the tables. So schema is just to house some other tables, right? So you have all these ones, you encryptions and others. You can encrypt a lot. Credentials, less than 1 minute. So I think that's that. Just a brief introduction into the interface, right? This is where you write your code, and this is where you see your tables, right? So that will be all for tonight. Tuesday or Wednesday, you get a video that continues from where we stop and does a better explanation. Ensure you get your SQL, SSMS, SQL Server, Adventure Works installed, and see you on Wednesday. Thank you guys for joining. Bye. Bye. Hello.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Good night.
Yeah, so you get